What is going on, everyone? This is Eric coming at you from just outside of Hartford, Connecticut. And today, we're going to be looking at the Reggie Wayne trade, which occurred during the 2001 NFL Draft. Now, this was a swapping of draft picks between the New York Giants and the Indianapolis Colts during said draft. How did this trade work out? We'll start by looking at the New York Giants, who traded up to the 22nd overall pick during said aforementioned 2001 draft. With that, they would select cornerback Will Allen. Allen burst onto the scene as a rookie, recording 45 tackles, a career-high 4 interceptions, and 14 passes defended. He had a solid second year, as he would record 58 tackles, 1 interception, and 11 passes defended. In 2003, he would miss 4 games, but he ended that season with 14 passes defended and a pair of picks. In 2004, Allen recorded a career-high 81 tackles and a career-high 19 passes defended, as well as his first career sack, and he got an interception to make the season that much sweeter. In 2005, he registered 73 tackles with 11 passes defended. However, he was allowed to walk after the season, as the team wanted a corner who could record more interceptions. As you noticed, his interception totals really started to dwindle as his playing time went on. He was good in coverage, but they decided they wanted a guy who was more of a ball hawk than a coverage guard. So, yeah, good pick, just not the right scheme fit. Then you have the Indianapolis Colts, who got 3 picks to move back 8 spots. So the first pick that they got was the 30th pick, which they would use to select wide receiver Reggie Wayne. Now, Wayne had a quiet rookie season, catching only 27 passes for 345 yards. And he spent 2002 in a similar role, as he ended that year with 49 receptions for 716 yards, but 4 touchdowns. But by 2003, he became a full-time starter. He ended that season with 68 receptions for 838 yards and 7 touchdowns. He really started to play up to his full potential in 2004, as he ended that campaign with 77 receptions for 1,210 yards and a career-best 12 touchdowns. Now, he really made his name known in a wildcard game against the Denver Broncos, where he would catch 10 passes for 221 yards and a pair of touchdowns. He followed up this strong campaign with another strong season in 2005, as he would catch 83 passes for 1,055 yards and 5 touchdowns. In 2006, Wayne caught 86 passes for 1,310 yards and 9 touchdowns. He would record 17 catches for 216 yards and 2 touchdowns in 4 playoff games as the Colts went on to win Super Bowl 41. Now, 2007 saw Wayne forced into a larger role as the Colts dealt with numerous injuries on the offensive side of the ball. He ended the year with a career-high and league-leading 1,510 yards on 104 receptions. He added 10 touchdowns as well. Now, he did quote-unquote regress back to his normal stats in 2008, but this was just due to more players coming back. Still, he ended the season with 82 catches for 1,145 yards and 6 touchdowns. Now, he caught 100 passes for 1,264 yards and 10 touchdowns in the 2009 season. He would follow that up with 16 receptions for 164 yards and a touchdown over 3 postseason games, but the Colts would go on to lose in the Super Bowl that year. Now, in 2010, Wayne caught a career-high 111 passes for 1,355 yards and 6 touchdowns. He was named a first-team All-Pro for that season. Very impressive. His numbers, however, took a hit in 2011 as the Colts were without Peyton Manning, who was out for that year with a neck injury. He still ended the year with 75 catches for 960 yards and 4 touchdowns. Now, Andrew Luck would be the first overall pick in 2012, and he took over the quarterback job for that year. Wayne was a strong option for him, as he would post season totals of 106 receptions for 1,355 yards and 5 touchdowns. In 2013, however, Wayne would tear his ACL in Week 7. Despite that, Wayne had recorded 38 catches for 503 yards and a pair of touchdowns. However, he had fallen down the depth chart a little bit in 2014. He ended that season with 64 catches for 779 yards and a pair of touchdowns. After that season, he announced that he had been playing with torn triceps since Week 6, and then he was essentially allowed to walk as a free agent. But he would only spend a couple of weeks with the New England team, New England Patriots, before he decided to retire. Over his 14-year career with the Colts, Wayne compiled 1,070 receptions for 14,345 yards and 82 touchdowns during the regular season. He was a 6-time Pro Bowler, a 1-time first-team All-Pro, 2-time second-team All-Pro, and he led the NFL in receiving yards 1 time. He is also a member of the Indianapolis Colts Ring of Honor. This trade is already a win for the Colts, but they still got 2 more picks, the next of which was the 91st pick, which they would use to select strong safety Corey Bird. Now, Bird spent most of his time in Indianapolis as a backup. He would record 114 tackles and half a sack over 45 games, 8 of which were starts before he walked. Lastly, the Colts also got the 193rd pick, which they would use on free safety Jason Doring. Doring would spend 3 seasons on the team, mostly as a backup and special teams player. Over that time, he did start 7 games, and all said and done, he recorded 106 tackles and 1 fumble recovery. It's safe to say who won this trade, but still, pretty important trade in NFL history, particularly for the Colts. And again, the Giants didn't really whiff. They got a good player, just wasn't the right fit for their scheme. Hope you guys enjoyed this trade. Have a good rest of your day.